Welcome back to another episode of From the Stands. I am joined here by Dumb, and Dumber. We're going to start with Pick'em this week. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what's in the air. I don't know what's in the water. Lance is somehow in first place. And he's not tied. He's in sole possession of first place.
Who would have thought?
Nobody.
Who would have thought?
Nobody at home. Nobody sitting here. Nobody across the country.
Comment down below if you were here from the jump, if you were here from day one.
Comment if you have seen Lance's rise from absolute mediocrity.
Not mediocrity.
I was the laughing stock of the pod there for a
He literally he had a Bengals run. He went from getting the first overall pick to being in the Super Bowl.
The garage pick'em were some tough. Those were some
Those
tough
were
days.
some tough days. Yeah,
was
those were
tough.
some rough days.
It was
It was
tough
tough to think in there, though.
It was tough to get up in the morning and
It was 107.5 degrees in there at all times, so it was kind of hard to think. It struggled a little bit.
now that I got a little more airflow in here, my mind is more clear.
You can actually breathe a little bit. Jack never had to experience those days.
Struggling like I am, though. So
Yeah, well, I don't know why you suck so bad at this so far. I'm just gonna be
I'm gonna
honest.
try and make like ballsy picks.
He's doing what I was doing in the garage, just trying to pick islands and make
Strides.
Before
and try and gain.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna start writing down my picks before we start, so I don't get influenced by y'all, and then just go.
it's more fun that way though.
I guess
It's more fun. Plus, sometimes the influence works in your favor.
Sometimes I
it
won't.
didn't work in my favor for the Jags this week.
They were riddled by injuries on Sunday, which definitely did not help.
So the
DeMar,
And
it's DeMar Hamlin season.
And at some point, we all knew that Jacksonville was going to get back on track. And it just so happened that with the extra week in London, Bills having to deal with all that travel, add injuries on top of it, it just ended up being Jacksonville's GBOT game. So a little unfortunate, but it's just the way the cookie crumbled this week. So the
Crumbled
updated
right into my mouth.
The updated standings. So the first game, and Lance is going to – it's a first all-time for Lance. He's going to be the solo picker, first picker of each game this week.
I feel like I'm on college game day.
First game he's got is Oregon versus Washington, and this is the game
Of the year in the past.
I think it's the game of the year so far in college football.
foosball.
Maybe Texas, Alabama. Maybe.
I didn't get to watch
But this
that
one
game.
has higher implications.
This one not only carries playoff implications, it's also carrying Heisman. I think the winner of this game is the front runner for Heisman.
I haven't looked too much into this game, so it's going to be more of a gut pick. One of these teams, in my opinion, is a little more well-rounded than the other, and it's going to be a tough environment either way. Both teams are going to have to show out on both sides of the ball. I'm taking the Oregon Ducks.
Damn it.
Okay.
I think Bo Nix is going to show up, and it's not like it's a primetime game. It's a 3:30 game. It's a day game. It is at Washington, but I think the environment would be a little tougher if it was at night, and I trust Oregon's defense more than Washington's. I'm taking the Ducks.
ESPN's matchup predictor currently has the Ducks a 55% chance to win to 45%. The current line on the game, can I find it on ESPN? The current line is Washington -3.
So Washington's favored by 3?
Mm-hmm.
They are.
Oregon's projected to win.
I don't know, because I wanted to go with Oregon. I feel like Washington has a slight edge at quarterback because I think Penix is better than Bo. But I think the Oregon defense is a lot better than Washington's defense. I guess I'll ride with Oregon and just tail Lance. I feel like
Tail me. I took Oregon.
Yeah, he said he's going to rock with Oregon.
He said,
tailing you.
He's like riding your tail. Like
"Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
taking
confused on
Oregon.
I got confused on the terminology.
If I was
using some NASCAR terminology on that one.
If I was fading you, I would be taking. Well, I want to take Washington, but I feel like
Take Washington then.
Oregon's got a more well-rounded team, like you said. I mean, Washington doesn't have a defense. They're
Take
they're just a
Washington
little bit
then.
better
Get
than
a point
USC.
back on me.
They basically got LSU's defense. So give me
I don't
Or-
think it's that bad.
Give me Oregon.
All right, I'm struggling with this one. I think the Ducks have the advantage as far as coaching goes. I think Dan Lanning is a very under the radar top 20 coach in college football right now, maybe top 15. They do have a better defense. Now, I have not seen that defense play anybody yet this season. They played Colorado, which I know there was a lot of hype going into that game. Even me, myself, put a lot of hype on that game. I did not realize how bad Colorado's offensive line was. It was pathetic. I would liken their offensive line to the New York Giants' offensive line. They're just not good. So I don't know how much I trust that defensive front of Oregon yet.
You could say the same thing about Washington's offense, though.
You could. You absolutely could. I think Michael Penix is better than Bo Nix. I do. I have always been a Bo hater, Bo Picks. He was not good at Auburn, in my opinion. I thought it was kind of a cop-out to go from the SEC, fly way out west, get in the Pac-12, not a lot of defense. It's a lot easier to thrive as a quarterback. It is in Washington. I am going to go against the grain a little bit here. I do not have faith in Bo Picks. I think the Huskies take it in a high-scoring matchup. Give me the Huskies.
Interesting pick, Jack. Let's hear your thoughts.
I think you know where I'm going. I'm picking Washington.
We knew where you were going.
Michael Penix is one of, if not the best quarterbacks in college football as of today.
2,000 yards on the season already.
2,000 yards on the season already. Not first, though. He's second in passing yards in college football behind Shador.
The Shador.
I think the advantage that Washington has weapons-wise is greater than Oregon's. I think the advantage for Washington on offense against Oregon's defense is greater than Oregon's offense against Washington's defense.
I do agree.
Sense. I think Washington's defense is serviceable. I think Oregon's defense is better, but I think Washington's defense is serviceable. But I think Washington's weapons are what make them truly elite and super dangerous when it comes to big matchups like this. They have 3 receivers that would be wide receiver ones at 90% of schools in the country. They are super talented, definitely a threat on the offensive side of the ball to score 50 points in this game. I think I agree that it's going to be a higher scoring. I don't know if it's going to be like a 60 to 50 kind of game or like a 50 to 40. I think it's going to be probably closer to like 45-38 Washington.
I think the game will hit the over.
What's the line?
The line is 67 and a half.
Over.
I like the over, and I like it by a lot.
I like it by like 10.
Both teams this season have yet to score less than 30.
Yeah.
Both teams having at least one 50-point performance and multiple 40-point performances.
We're going to hit a 71 bomb to start the season, or like an
81 bomb.
to start the season.
I mean, they did play, I don't even know, Portland State. So, you know.
Who then followed that up, if you look at Portland State's schedule, who followed that game up by winning like 91 to something.
They then beat Wyoming the following Saturday, and then 2 weekends after the Oregon game, they beat North American 91-0.
Damn.
So,
currently, to add to your point, Jack, total yards, Washington is currently has 12 more yards per game total than Oregon does. However, the disparity is clear between what kind of offense both likes to run. Washington has 446 pass yards per game. Oregon is averaging 330. Oregon is averaging 227 yards on the ground to Washington's 123.
Washington's also been out a starting running back the entire year. He's not going to touch the field for the whole season.
Washington has been giving up about 100 more yards per game to opposing offenses.
I think the X factor is going to be Troy Franklin. I believe it is the 4th.
We shall.
Oregon's top wide receiver, Troy Franklin.
Top wide receiver.
We shall see. All right, I'm going to pull up the next game for you guys. We have got Oregon State versus UCLA, and the Beavers currently have a 70% chance to win. The line is Oregon State -4 on this one. You've got two kind of almost two kind of unproven quarterbacks still, in Dante Moore and DJ Uwagalele.
Let me see Oregon State's last 5.
They lost to Wazoo 2 weeks ago, but that's their only loss.
Who? Who's Wazoo?
Beat Cal,
Washington State.
beat Utah, lost to Washington State, San Diego State. I don't know who UCD is.
I am going to I'm going to keep this short and sweet for most of my picks this week because they're pretty much just gut picks. I'm going to ride the hot hand. They got a win on the road, or they got a big win at home last week. I'm taking UCLA. I like Dante Moore, and I know it's at Oregon State, but those home field advantages out there don't really mean much. They don't mean as much as they do in the Big Ten and the SEC. I think they just beat Washington State at home, and I think they're going to go on the road this week, and I think they're going to get it done again. I'm taking the Bruins.
Man, I really have no idea. I know Oregon State beat Utah, but they didn't have Cam Rising. So I feel like shit. I know you. You know what? He's been doing pretty well. I'm not a big college football guy, so I'm just going to tail him again. Give me UCLA.
Looking at it, about the same on offense, total yards per game, only separated by about 9. The big difference is yards allowed. UCLA's defense has been playing great ball. They have yet to give up 20 points in a game this season. Cannot say the same about Oregon State. Their defense has been very hit or miss. Played like shit against Cal. Played great against Utah with no Cam Rising. Played bad against Washington State. Played good against San Diego State. There's just not been much consistency. As far as schedule goes, them and UCLA have had about the same. Beat San Diego State, held them to 10 points. Utah lost, but still held them to 14. And then held Washington State, a good offense, under 20 points again. I am not a DJ Moore fan.
You mean Dante Moore?
Dante Moore, I'm sorry. I was thinking of both quarterbacks. I am not a Dante Moore fan. I do think he's still got some growing to do. But I like their defense. I am not high on Uwagalele. I think it's going to be a low-scoring matchup, and I think the Bruins get it done on the road.
We're going to have an island boy now?
I'm going to take Oregon State.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
That was my gut before we talked. So if it's not just me taking Island, I think Ulanga, I can't say his name.
Uwagalele.
Whatever. DJ is a better quarterback than Dante Moore is. He's obviously more proven. This is was the UCLA game at Wazoo, or was it?
It was at home.
So I think this is his first true road test against a competent team. Not a team without I think that first game that Utah game was at UCLA as well. UCLA. Anyway, this is his first true test. I think the lights are a little bright. I think Oregon State's a really solid team who can make some noise, maybe mess up a few Pac-12 chances at the playoff if they get the chance. I'll keep it shorter as well. I'll take the Beavers at home.
All right. First island of the week. Next game, the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Wires.
I'm going to keep this one really short. Anthony Richardson got hurt, this past weekend, because this will be out on
Thursday. Yeah.
Anthony Richardson got hurt last week. I am not a big Gardner Minshew fan. I took the Jags to beat Buffalo in London. They took care of business. They got it done. I think this is where we start to see them pick up a little bit after a slow start, and I'm taking the Jags.
All right. Contrary to Lance, I am a big Minshew Mania fan. However, I think that Trevor Lawrence is finally back on track after a slow first 4 weeks. And I think they're going to go back to their original home, not their London home, and whoop some Colt ass. I think it's going to be like 34-17. Give me the Jags.
Jacksonville finally had its GBOT game. Unfortunately for me, it came at a poor time. But they had it. I do think it's still a little bit of a tougher week because now they're traveling back from London. So I believe they're losing time, correct?
For like Yeah,
I think it's like,
No, they'd be gaining time.
are they? I don't know.
Because
How
when you
they-
go west, you go back in time.
I don't know. Whatever. Either way, their sleep schedule.
reverse
Yeah.
jet lag.
Yeah, their sleep schedule is fucked. I do think that will have an impact on the game this weekend. I do think they're going to be a little lethargic.
No
They are
way.
playing in Jacksonville. It is going to be humid. It's still going to be hot. With that being said, the Colts are still trying to find their offensive identity. It's really hard when your rookie QB, who's supposed to be like your next franchise guy, is only playing about 3/4 of football for every 6 to 8 that your team is playing as a whole. There's no continuity. There's no fluidity. It's constantly, AR's here. Let's play AR. We're going to play more of a, like an RPO offense. We're going to give him the opportunity to run, get out in space. Then Gardner Minshew comes in. Now you got to go a little bit more to passing and running the ball straight downhill. There's just no fluidity to that offense. Jacksonville got back on track. Give me the Jags at home.
I'm going to take the Jags as well. I think there's not much else that needs to be said. I think if they're jet lagged after a week of being in the United States,
It's a problem.
that's a
Stateside.
Yeah. Do you think the Jags get so many London games because their fan base is so small in Jacksonville, like because they don't have a big enough fan base to represent themselves in the United States, that the NFL was like, let's give them a whole country that rallies behind them so they get more viewers? Do you think that's why they play in London so much? Because they
could
play
be.
every year.
We'll pick this up after, but I want to go ahead and get through these last two games. So put a pin in that, remember it, and we'll talk about that a little bit more because I like that. All right, so we got our first sweep of the week. Next one, I do not think will be the same. We have got the Seattle Seahawks at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Bungles.
You know where I'm going. My glorious king had his GBOT game this past weekend. Jamar broke a franchise record, and he is always open. And I think the
He ain't
Seahawks are
Waffle House.
I think the Seahawks are solid, but I don't think they're going to be like a contender this year. I'm going to take my Bengals at home to get the job done.
Okay. Seahawks had a really good game on Monday night.
No, wait.
Yeah, it was last Monday.
Yeah, last Monday. You're right.
Their offense looked pretty good, but it was against the terrible New York Giants. I think Joey B is back on track. Finally, I think his calf's finally good. They're getting Jamar Chase involved. I think T. Higgins will probably have a good game. I'm taking the Bengals. If he's not playing,
If he plays.
he's going to come back this week, and he's going to play. Give me the Bengals.
I want to take the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to take the Seahawks.
People always say trust your gut.
Their defense looked good. I know it was New York, but
11 sacks is 11 sacks.
Witherspoon is making plays. That kid can ball. Their defensive line is
He had a bye
solid. Bobby Wagner is still that dude. Still that dude. As old as he is, bro, is still that dude. Kenneth Walker is a very underrated top back in the league, in my opinion. DK can still make plays. They've got the deep threat in Tyler Lockett. It is in Cincinnati, which I do not like. The Bengals are coming off of, obviously, their most impressive game as a team this entire season. And I unfortunately think that continues, so give me Cincinnati.
Bruh.
You were talking like you were going to pick the Seahawks.
Yeah, that whole monologue.
I was
I'm going to take the
like,
Bengals.
Okay.
I wanted to, just not confident in it.
Give me the jungle. I think that the Bengals are going to get it done again. Obviously, they put together finally a complete team game this past week. As they all said, the Seahawks obviously looked great, but it was against the boo-boo offensive line Giants who
Just doesn't count.
couldn't play a 7th grade team right now. So yeah, I'll take the Bengals. I think Joey B continues his upward trend of play. I don't think Jamar Chase.
I think he's going to start playing up to the contract they gave him finally.
Hopefully, I hope so for his sake. But yeah, I like the Bengals.
All right, and lastly, we've got one of mine and Lance's favorite sports to get into. Little bit lower scoring. Something.
There's no information.
Something Jack does not enjoy because he says there is
I just haven't
not
gotten into
enough
it yet.
action.
I haven't gotten into it yet.
It's too slow for Jack, apparently.
I said that about baseball.
We don't like watching guys play with pucks.
I really enjoyed it. Me and Lance got into it around the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. Electric environments. There's something about low-scoring sports that when there is a goal, people go fucking nuts. It is insane. You would have thought when they scored one goal, they just won the Super Bowl. It is absolutely nuts. Atmosphere is electric, and we are going to try to dive into it a little bit more this season, learn a little bit more about the rules and the players, and we're going to start it off this week with picking an opening weekend game of the NHL. We're taking the Colorado Avalanche at the San Jose Sharks.
Let's see here. I haven't read up on hockey yet because it starts this week. But like I said, I'm going to keep most of these short and sweet. Give me the Colorado Avalanche.
Fuck, dude.
Give me the Avalanche. I think they were
They were.
A playoff team.
I think they were a 1 seed last year.
They were a high seed.
They lost in the first round.
They got upset in the first round. I do know that.
I know a little bit more.
Jack knows a little bit.
Well,
They're coming back for revenge. Give me the Avalanche.
looks like me and Lance are going to be staying 1 point apart because 2 points apart. I mean, Avalanche kills a shark 9 times out of 10. So give me the Colorado Avalanche.
9 times out of 10.
I'm also taking the Avalanche. I was in Colorado in 2021 when they went on their crazy.
Dang, why'd we pick that
Yeah,
game?
why did we pick this game?
The Sharks are horrible.
22 and 44 last year. They were awful.
I swear I thought Lance told me they made the playoffs.
You're
They
an
were.
idiot.
San
They
Jose
were.
was
What are you-
terrible.
Awful. Let's.
Hold on. Wait a second. It's a group effort to pick games. I said, yo, y'all want to pick this game? Sure. At any point, somebody could have been like, dog, did you realize the Sharks were dog shit last season? And I would have been like, nah.
I didn't remember the Sharks' record.
No, but I'm like 99% sure you go, yeah, they both made the playoffs last year.
Oh, well.
Put that one on Lance. Asshole. All right.
Do you want to pick a different one or the same one?
We'll stick with the same one. We've never changed the pick mid-pod. I don't want to start now. It doesn't give me good vibes. I would take the Avalanche really against anybody they're playing opening game this season.
By the Bruins.
I would still take them. They're coming for revenge this year. They've got a vendetta.
All right, so note to self, pick a lot of Avalanche games this year.
They've got a vendetta. They are looking to go a little bit deeper than they have the last 2 years in the playoffs. They've been close, but no cigar. I think this is the year they're finally going to break through, and they're going to play some good-ass hockey. They're going to be pucking that puck all around.
Ugh. I didn't like that.
Didn't they win?
Give me
2021?
They did not. Give me the Colorado Avalanche on the road.
I'll take the Avalanche. I don't know. I know that the Sharks went 22 and 44 last year, and that the Avalanche were 1 seed.
So we got a
It's a nice week when you know you can't
three
lose.
sweeps this week.
It's a nice weekend pick 'em when you know you can't lose any ground.